since it's 3:01. Good afternoon and welcome to the Dual Enrollment Information Session. I'd like to thank you all for joining me. My name is Cassie Daly and I'm from the admissions office with Western Illinois University. And I do have some guests that are with me today. Some you may hear from, some may be helping us answer the Q&A, the question and answer section throughout the day. And so you I have some help definitely to help answer your questions, so we make sure that you don't leave this webinar without getting everything covered that you came here to do today. I'm going to turn this over real quickly to Christy Mendrip, who is joining us from the academic side of the house. Christy?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay, Cassie? I just want to check before I go on.
Yes.
All right, very good. Hi, everybody. It's great to virtually be here with all of you today. What a great opportunity to connect with others, especially during kind of this weird situation that we're all adjusting to and just making the most of. So this is a great opportunity for you to connect with Western Illinois University too, and I'm thrilled to be here today. I'm Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs, and so I work with Cassie and the admissions team to come up with courses that work well for high school students to take and enroll in while you're still in high school to get ahead on your experience. So that's kind of an overview, and I think I'm going to talk a little bit more later, more specifically about the type of opportunities available to you. With that, I'll turn it back over to Cassie.
All right. Thank you. So as Christy kind of shared today, we're going to be sharing some information about what the WIU Dual Enrollment Program is and how you can get started and what the process is for getting enrolled in classes. Since this is a webinar, again, I'll remind everybody that is maybe just joining us a little bit late. We are not able to see you on this side of things, but we would like you to utilize the the Q&A feature at the very bottom of your screen. Should be bottom kind of on the left-hand side, maybe in the middle, kind of depending on how your screen's set up, but you can use that to post a question that you would like us to answer today. So if there's something that we don't get to, or we say something and it spawns a question immediately, go ahead and type that into the Q&A box and we'll get that answered for you. So kind of just jumping off, I'm going to share my screen here quickly. And these are the slides that we're going to be going over. So as we transition to the first slide about why take a dual enrollment course through WIU. And I want to point out that this is a dual enrollment course. So this course is good for college credit. How this course will be taken at your high school is determined by your individual high school. They may allow you to use it for elective credit, which is how most high schools will let you use that credit for your high school record, academic record. But through Western, it is an actual college credit for the course. And so this is ways to help you complete courses prior to graduating from high school. If you are kind of wanting to explore some different career paths, then this is an excellent opportunity to take a class that may be in a particular area you are interested in. So if you are interested in something like law enforcement, or you're interested in a business area, then there's a lot of classes that are out there that you can maybe take to see if this is something that you would like to do for your future. So it's a way to get it in a kind of a firsthand experience a little bit early on what a university level course is going to be like, and what the workload is going to be, what the interaction with a professor will be. And then with this dual enrollment course, you are able to receive an automatic scholarship to cover 2/3 of your tuition. And we'll go into that a little bit more in a couple more slides. But if you are a current junior and you're going to be thinking about actually becoming a full-time freshman at Western for the fall of 2021, then we have the opportunity for you to lock in tuition, fees, and your room and meal plan rate through our cost guarantee. So it's a way to kind of start our cost guarantee early. So kind of a good thing there. So there's kind of some reasons why a dual enrollment course may interest you through Western. And this is where I will turn it back to Christy for to talk about some of the course options and what type of delivery we have available.
Yeah, thank you, Cassie. We have some really great opportunities for students, and some of these may appeal to you regardless of where you're located. So I'll talk about those first. Some of our more ways that you can connect no matter where in the state or beyond you are. The first options that we're just starting up this fall semester that we're super excited about are our live stream options. And so if you have flexibility in your class schedule during your regular school day, from 8 o'clock to 9:15, Monday and Wednesday, and Tuesday and Thursday, we have 2 classes available. These are general education classes, and they're going to be super interesting and great timing, especially for the first one, which is American Government and Politics, which might sound kind of dry, but they talk about the election. And so what a great time, but this fall 2020, to talk about politics and the election process, the role of media in politics, and so on. So that's one of our first classes that's available by live stream. What I mean by live stream is what we're doing right now. So if you're familiar with Zoom and logging in this type of format, this is exactly the type of format that class is offered. The second class we're offering that way is Physics 101. Physics, wow, you know, maybe you've taken physics, maybe you haven't, but you've certainly looked up at the stars. And so Introduction to Astronomy is going to be a really engaging class, an opportunity to think about what's in space, learn about how to understand and how to calculate certain things within space. And the great thing is it counts for general education and your natural sciences requirements. So those are 2 examples. Another one I want to highlight is actually a free class. So all the other classes we're talking about today are a reduced rate. This particular class is free thanks to a grant from the Moline Foundation. And it's called Intro to Animal Science. This is a class that counts toward the agriculture degree, which if you're pursuing agriculture will be a great fit for you, or if you just have interest in taking an elective type class, that class may appeal to you as well. Again, those 3 courses are offered via our live stream option, and they start at 8 o'clock. So you can work with our admissions team and then the advisor to see how those best fit with your schedule, and then coordinate also with your school counselor. The next format I want to talk quickly about is our online format. So if you have taken, many of us have taken online classes for the first time this spring semester, and that format helps us be able to access our courses remotely. We have many courses available, general education courses, and they cover all sorts of subjects. So everything from communication to writing to the sciences, or a variety of subjects that you might be interested, whether they're general education or introductions to a certain major that you're interested in. For example, maybe you're interested in criminal justice. That's a great program at WIU, and these courses are a great way to connect with those. So those are some of our opportunities that you can take advantage of regardless of where you are in the state. And then one more opportunity I want to talk about for any students who are within driving distance to either our Moline Quad Cities campus or a Macomb campus is the opportunity to take any of these, many of the same courses on campus. And so the great opportunity with that is you're able to access all the same resources and opportunities that you would have as a college freshman. It's a great way to adjust to college life, get familiar with how courses work in college, and also just interact with our really awesome faculty who care about students and are going to really create a great experience for you to get your first taste of university life. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions, or we'll continue on with Cassie and we can collect questions along the way.
Okay. Thank you, Christy. So if you are wanting to look at what the suggested course list that we've put together, the website wiu.edu/highschool has some suggestions out there. but students can take any 100 or 200 level course as long as you meet the placement requirements. So for example, if you're wanting to take a English composition course, then you will need to make sure that you meet the requirements to enter into that course based on either test scores or may involve a writing sample if the test scores aren't available. But the full list of courses that we have available for this coming summer and this fall is available at wiu.edu/stars, and you can do a course search and see what is out there. Students can take up to 2 classes per semester, so without asking for special permission. We have had dual enrollment students in the past take more than 2 classes, but we typically suggest only 2 just because we know you guys are full-time high school students and have other things going on as well. So it's important to keep a balance. Get ahead, but keep a balance. So the admission requirements for students that want to participate in dual enrollment, you have to have at least 3 semesters of high school coursework completed. So if you are maybe in your 3rd semester right now, make sure that that semester gets finished, and then you can start the application process for dual enrollment. You need to have a 3.0 cumulative unweighted GPA or higher on a 4.0 scale. So 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. If you're below a 3.0, we may ask you to submit official SAT or ACT scores. I know that for the juniors in the audience, that was not an option for you this spring due to everything that has gone on. So if you are below that 3.0, we're going to ask, and you're still interested, then we're going to ask for a couple letters of support from the people that know you best in the academic setting, and then also maybe some PSAT scores if those are available as well. And so we can kind of put that through a committee to make a decision. If you meet regular freshman admission requirements, then you can also be admitted as a high school dual enrollment student. And so that is a combination of your high school GPA, and then if you have those SAT or ACT test scores. And then you need a letter of permission from a high school representative. Most commonly, that is your high school counselor, but we also would accept a letter from a high school principal or superintendent if your high school counselor would not be available to provide that letter. So as far as the application process, our application is available at wiu.edu/apply, and within the application, you would select the dual enrollment option, as that's the kind of type of student that you're going to be. And this is free. So I kind of want to hit on that the dual enrollment admissions application is free. We're not going to charge you to fill that application out. And then we'll need your official high school transcripts and letter of permission from your high school counselor, and then those additional score reports if they're needed or if they're available. So if you have already applied to Western, so if you're a junior this year and you took advantage of our free application promotion that's going on right now, because you're thinking, oh, I want to be a WIU student in fall of 2021, then not a problem. If you've already filled out that application and you're like, yeah, I really want to do the dual enrollment, or maybe you filled out the application and you didn't mark dual enrollment because you weren't quite sure which student type to mark, then we can get that changed for you, not a problem. Just email admissions@wiu.edu and we can get that switched. And if you have already sent your transcript and test score information, but we still need that letter, then go ahead and ask your counselor to send that for us. And we do communicate with you when you submit your admissions application if there's additional information that we're still in need of. So after you get through the application process and you've picked your classes, or maybe you're still trying to figure out which classes to register for, then it's time to kind of get started on that. So if you have a class that's going to be hosted at the high school, so it's going to be held in person at your high school, because there are a couple locations that offer that those opportunities, then we will host a registration and orientation date potentially at the high school before school starts. kind of that's up in the air a little bit now, as we're not sure what the state requirements are going to be on when schools open back up, and some of those unknowns at this time. So if you are wanting to take a class that is supposed to be held at your high school, then we will still work with you on getting the registration done, and then setting up some orientation sessions as that comes closer. If you're going to take an online or an on-campus class for fall 2020, or even if you want to do an online class for this summer, then you will register through an academic advisor here on the Macomb campus or the Quad Cities campus, kind of depending on where you're coming from and which type of class you're going to register for. But we will be in contact with you once all of your admissions application information is in, and when it's time to, yes, you're accepted and you're ready to register, then we'll communicate with you about who your academic advisor is and how to get registered for those classes. Or if you just want to talk through some of those class choices with your academic advisor, that is what they're here for too. So I did mention earlier that there's a cost for the dual enrollment classes unless you take advantage of that free ag class that's out there for us for the fall. But students receive basically a scholarship for a third of the tuition. So they pay a third of the tuition. They get a scholarship for 2/3 of the tuition. And so it is automatically applied once a student registers, because our system catches that they're a dual enrollment student. And so its total cost is $296.10. That's the tuition cost for the student. And there is a one-time transcript fee. And then the bill will be sent in the mail and to the student's WI email address. And payment, you can make a payment online through your student account or by mailing in a check, or we do offer a payment plan. So if you're not wanting to pay the entire cost of the class all at once, there is an opportunity to break that up. And so when you complete the admissions update form so if you're planning on being a student with us at WIU after you graduate from high school, then we want to work with you about how to do that. So if that is in your plan, then we will have you submit an admissions update form, and this is mailed to you in your admissions packet. Once you're accepted, you're mailed the form that if you are like, yes, I want to go to WIU after I'm done with high school and my dual enrollment classes, then we can help you do that by having you fill out the form. And you can, if you already have gotten that form because you're through the process, you've already done the application process and maybe you've already registered, then you can send that form. You can email it to us at admissions@wiu.edu if you'd like to. For students that are interested in attending WIU after high school, something interesting to know is that you will have to be sure that you still meet incoming regular freshman admission requirements. So for fall 2021, students with a 2.75 high school GPA on a 4.0 scale will be admitted, test optional. So in response to COVID, we are well aware that the juniors were not able to take the ACT or the SAT as planned, and maybe that test is going to be, farther pushed out or delayed, and we don't want to penalize students for, something that was obviously beyond your control. But there is the change in the admission requirements for incoming fall 2021 freshmen, but for fall 2022 and beyond, it will go back to our regular 3.3 for automatic admissions at this time. So just keep watching that as you go through.
Hey, Cassie.
Yeah.
We have two questions that will be good timing with the information that you just provided. So
Sure.
The first one asks, is the process different for homeschool students?
No. So the process is not different. The application is still the same, but then the letter of permission can come from whoever the assigned homeschool administrator is. So whether that may be a parent in a homeschool case. So we would just need a letter of permission from the parent. And we'd still need official transcripts. So if you go through a third party to create those transcripts, or that's something that is done through an online system or whatever it may be, we just need that official transcript.
And then the other question is from someone that might potentially live out of state, and they want to know, is the tuition discount or the tuition scholarship the same if you live outside of Illinois?
That is a great question, and the answer is yes. So we still will give the same scholarship and tuition discount for out-of-state students, and our WIU tuition is actually the same because we don't assign out-of-state tuition for even a regular first-time incoming freshman student. So great. All right, and this last bullet point here is just relevant for students that, depending on when you're going to apply for regular admission at WIU. So if you are going to be in the fall 2021 class, then the 2.75 GPA is what's relevant there. If you're going to be beyond the fall 2021, because maybe you're a sophomore watching this, just know that the admission standards for incoming freshmen may potentially go back to what it was for this year, which was 3.3 if you're going to be an incoming freshman student. So I don't want to confuse you too much with all those different regular freshman admission requirements. If you're going to attend WIU after high school, we will be in contact with you about how to go through that process, and if there's anything that's going to impact you or change a decision for you. So are there other questions? I'm going to stop the share and
we have a question here. Should dual credit students apply for FAFSA?
The answer to that is actually no, because you're still in high school. So high school students are not going to be eligible for FAFSA or for financial aid. Part of the requirements to be eligible for FAFSA or be eligible for financial aid is that you are a graduated student. So whether that's, you know, GED equivalency, or graduated from high school, or graduated from online school, or homeschool type setting. So.
Okay, and the next one, is it too late to apply for online classes for summer?
It's not. We're getting a little close, but a lot of our online classes are going to start in the beginning of June. So there is still time, but I'd encourage you to get the application and all the documents ready to go, especially this time of year. Your high school counselor may be a little bit busy because they're preparing to get seniors through, you know, their transcripts and documents ready to confer degrees. So for graduating seniors, but not too late, but may want to get on it so you are considered of your high school counselor and to be able to get the information that you'll need.
That's right. And I'll just add one thing about that too. You'll want to apply as soon as possible because those seats for those classes fill up quickly. The online courses are really popular, both with high school students and also our WIU students. So definitely work with Cassie and the team to get that application, and your school counselor to get your materials put together quickly. And if you have any questions, as Cassie will tell you, I'm sure in a little bit, make sure you run those by us and we can help you move that along. We have another question, Cassie, and feel free to chime in, but I'll give an initial response. And that is, what would be an ideal course for a student interested in for LEJA as a major? So I'll answer this for LEJA, but it also applies to any major that a student might be interested in. So the first thing you want to apply, but then what you'll do is you'll work with an advisor from WIU to identify the best course that's going to meet your needs. And so there may be, I'll give you some general information, there may be a 100 level introductory course in law enforcement or business or English or some other major that you're interested in that you could take. And then there are also several general education courses that will work very well regardless of your major. Now, certain general education courses are required by certain majors. So this is the part where you definitely want to talk with your advisor and make sure that you're connecting with that information as early as possible.
Yes, that would be exactly what I would say. There's a lot of courses that are intro level, introduction to law enforcement and justice administration, and yep. So. Are there any other questions about next steps? Somebody that is not on camera today, but has joined us as a panelist is Katie Gorsuch, and Katie is a admissions counselor who is based at the Macomb campus, and she will be taking a very active role with dual enrollment in June. And so you may start hearing from Katie on some of your correspondence, whether that's email or if it's a letter, paper letter that comes to you. So just know that that's a name that you should be like, oh, okay, I remember somebody saying something about that in connection to high school dual enrollment.
I want to chime in with one comment that might come to your mind after this meeting and as things progress, and that is related to the COVID-19 situation. Sometimes there are questions about whether we are going to hold classes in the fall semester and what that will look like. So what I can tell you for the spring semester is that the courses went ahead. So even though there were some times when courses went online and so on, the courses went ahead. So the student, any high school student who would register for a fall class, you're going to be able to start and finish that class. And so that includes online classes, that includes the live stream classes. And even if you take a class on campus, should the situation change, you're going to be able to, as I said, start and finish that class. So you can register with confidence that your course is going to happen. Then Cassie, there is a question from Jonathan who wants to know, will you be attending any local schools to get students interested?
We typically do. Prior to, if we're able to get into schools prior to our semester starting, kind of depends on when the high school term is going to start, and that may be who knows. I think that there's some unknowns because there's been talk about, when, the start date for high schools, and if that is before we would start for, our college classes, we may have the opportunity to try to get into a few classes or a few high schools to talk about these opportunities. But right now, the best plan is to just, contact us through online, or if you are a high school counselor or administrator and you would like us to do a separate, more of an open Zoom session for interested students at your school, then we're happy, contact me and we are happy to set that up and can kind of make it a little bit more interactive type presentations.
We have another question. This one's about billing, and someone wants to know, how do we get billing information for dual enrollment courses that are not free?
Oh, yeah. I think there was a slide about that, and I think I don't know if I accidentally skipped over it or I just forgot to talk about I think I just forgot to talk about it. So the bill for classes there'll be a physical paper bill mailed to the student, and then when students are accepted to Western, they get their own STARS account. That's what we call it the STARS account. So they can be able to register into their STARS account and see that billing information as well. So there's two ways: a physical bill that goes in the mail, and then access to the bill online through the student's STARS account. And they're sent that login information in a letter after they've been accepted. And we're working on an email notification for that too. Any other questions?
Here's one, Cassie.
Okay.
When or how will we get confirmation for being admitted to these courses for dual enrollment and for summer online?
Okay. So if once you get accepted, then the next step is to meet with your academic advisor, and you'll talk with your academic advisor, and that your academic advisor will help you get registered for the class. And then the account that I mentioned earlier, the STARS account, a student can always see what courses they're registered for in their STARS account. And academic advisors, every academic advisor does it a little bit different. A lot of academic advisors will have the student open their STARS account while they're meeting with them during their appointment to show them how to register for that class, or after they've put them in that class so they can physically see that show up in their STARS account. So that's kind of the confirmation. And for those that register for a summer class or a fall class, we like to do a little mini orientation for those that have registered. Now that we have this virtual platform to be able to do that, to be able to go step by step and show a student what Western Online looks like, which is the online platform that we use for our online classes, to show them what that looks like and how to navigate that a little bit. Great questions. Are there any other lasting questions? If you didn't feel comfortable using the question and answer box to type in a question to ask of the group, please feel free to email me individually, and we can kind of address those questions via email. Well, seeing no other questions, I think I will just let you, oh, looks like one popped up. So one of the questions is, for dual enrollment classes, would that be online or on campus? And so for dual enrollment classes, they can either be online or they can be on campus. It kind of depends on what format you select, and obviously where you're located at geographically. So if you're not close to our campus, then it's going to be online or a live stream course, if that option is available. And if you are close to campus and it works with your your high school schedule and you have time in your schedule, then you can take it on campus. Okay. Chrissy, can you read that question?
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you wanted me to answer one. So we have a participant who registered for an online summer class, was added and received confirmation, but the link to the course access doesn't show that the person's in classes yet for summer. So the first thing you want to do is just contact your advisor to just give them a heads up, and they'll provide you a little bit more information about how that works. But I'll just give you some general information. Sometimes those classes aren't loaded until just before they're going to start. And so if you're clicking to log into Western Online and you're looking around for your class, it's probably a little bit early for it to show up so far. So that's a question to ask your advisor. If you need your advisor's information or anything like that, please reach out to Cassie and she'll be able to make that connection for you.
And I thought I'll share my screen real quick. Again, just to show the high school dual enrollment page. So if you haven't looked at this yet or had a chance to, everything that we've talked about today is available on this website. And it gives the tuition breakdown, the savings, where can you take classes, the little plus box here. Opens up and gives you additional information about each of the different types of classes, talking about how you register, some additional resources for counselors and parents, and then some frequently asked questions, and then a quick link to the application. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, and the address for that is wiu.edu/high school. And so that gives you some additional information. Also with your classes, if you take an online class, it's going to require a textbook. Finding that textbook and the information for that, definitely something also to talk with your academic advisor about, or if you have questions about how to find that information for your textbook, then that can be found online as well through our WIU bookstore, and we will give you the information about what that textbooks, their magic ISBN number. And so if you will need to order it, you can either order it from our online bookstore, or you can order it from Amazon or Chegg or somewhere else that you've used before. Looks like we've got a couple more questions.
Yeah, a couple more. If this person asks if we've taken courses from WIU previously and have STAR accounts, do they need to apply again?
So if you're currently registered in a spring of 2020 class, the answer is no. You do not need to reapply. If you previously took a class in fall of 2019 or spring of 2019, you don't need to reapply. You just need to email me and let me know that you would like to re-enroll. And then I just need a letter of permission from your high school counselor, and then an updated transcript just to make sure that the GPA hasn't changed. And we really like to keep that communication up with the high school counselor so they're aware, and we like to know that the high school counselor is aware that the student's interested in taking this class. So don't need to reapply, just need to refresh your documents.
All right, we have another question. They're starting to think of them here. So this is from Jaylen. If my GPA is lower than the requirement, but my SAT is high, am I able to still apply?
Yes, because we use a combination of, and because the GPA for dual enrollment is high. It was it's higher than it is for a regular admission freshman incoming this year, actually. So we can use a combination of your GPA and your test score to determine if you qualify for dual enrollment. So yes, send us both. Any other questions about next steps or who to contact if you're not sure? Okay. Oh, looks like another one popped up.
Here's one. To start full enrollment, do I need letters of recommendation from my teachers?
I guess I'll answer that two ways because I'm not sure which way the question's being asked. If it's for dual enrollment purposes and only to take a dual enrollment class, we just need a letter of permission from a high school counselor or high school administrator that lets us know that you have their permission to enroll in a dual enrollment class. If you're talking about becoming a WIU freshman, like fully in fall of 21 or fall of 22, we would only need those letters of recommendation if your GPA or test scores don't meet our admission requirements. And I guess that a little bit of that goes for dual enrollment too, where if you don't meet the GPA required for dual enrollment and we don't have test scores, then yes, having an additional letter of support either from your high school guidance counselor or, sorry, high school counselor or high school teacher would be an advantage.
Here's a question, Cassie. This person asks, so I'm looking to take a class with a prereq, being Calc 2 with an AP score of 3 or higher. How would I submit this information to WIU?
Okay, so the information would be, I'm gonna read that question again real quick. just to make sure that prereq being Calc 2. So any of that documentation, you just submit it to the admissions office. And we would track all of that. So your academic advisor would have access to that. So when they go to register you for a class, they can see if you meet the prerequisite or there's additional placement information that we're gonna need to do. Because if it's a Calc 2 class, typically the requirement is that you have taken Calc 1 prior to being able to be enrolled in Calc 2. But if you have the AP credit that is equivalent to Calculus 1, then that's going to show as the same thing to meet the prerequisite. So just submit that AP transcript to our admissions office and we'll get that loaded. And kudos for being ready to go into Calc 2. Is there anything else that any of the panelists would like to add? Okay. No more questions? All right. Well, I think seeing no more questions, I think I've said this 3 times and then a question will magically pop up. We'll go ahead and I'll let you guys that are still on with us right now enjoy the rest of the day. And if you have questions that you need to ask us, things that you're still unclear about, just please reach out and we'll get you through the process. So
sounds good. Thanks everybody for coming. It was great to see your names online and field your questions today.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.